Thank you and good evening, everyone. Sitting there listening to Dr. Nurse's presentation, from a sales standpoint, being that I am Director of Sales, the Department of Tourism for the U.S. Virgin Islands has long been a supporter of reaching out to the diaspora and having various promotions and programs available to have people rediscover home, discover the Virgin Islands for the first time. One of the things, again, from a sales standpoint that we have done is invite a lot of members of our Virgin Islands community who are here stateside to join us in our sales and marketing efforts. Just in February, we had a tremendous effort out in Long Island and reached out to a number of the VI associations here in New York to come out and help to promote the U.S. Virgin Islands and be ambassadors of the U.S. Virgin Islands. And we've also had the same production in Atlanta, Georgia as well, where we know we have large numbers of Virgin Islanders. But in touching on what Johnson also said about making sure that people who are from the U.S. Virgin Islands know about what we have to offer. Everyone knows the beautiful beaches and whatnot, but there is so much more to our destination that we want to make sure all of our ambassadors to our destination are aware of. So that is what I will be presenting on this evening. If I can mash the right buttons here, Johnson. You might need to help me here.
Shut this down,
Okay, thank you very much. Some of the things that I want to share with you tonight on the U.S. Virgin Islands, right off the top, did you know that the U.S. Virgin Islands is the only U.S. territory to be bordered by both the Atlantic and the Caribbean Sea? And with all this water, there's a never-ending supply of water activities in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Paramount, diving. St. Croix is an excellent destination for diving. There's dozens of reefs, walls, and wrecks all over that island to explore. The U.S. Virgin Islands is also the only location in the United States where you can drive on the left side of the road. I am surprised how many people still are shocked by that fact, but even though we are a U.S. territory, that's one of the many European holdovers from European rule. St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John, yes, all three make up the U.S. Virgin Islands, but each one has a very distinct personality, and as such, each has their own nickname. St. Croix is known as Twin City, St. John, Love City, and St. Thomas as Rock City. And the combined area of these three islands is about 2 times the size of our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Looking at St. Croix, did anyone know that St. Croix's Point Udall is the most easternmost point in the United States? This point was actually named after Stuart Udall, who was the United States Secretary of Interior under both Kennedy and Lyndon B. Johnson administrations. The Millennium Monument that stands there today is a sundial, and it was built above the point in the year 2000. St. Croix also has the oldest baobab tree in the Caribbean. The tree was brought over from South Africa and planted in the 18th century. Locally, it's known as the Guinea almond or the Guinea tamarind tree, and it grows about 25 meters tall and can live for thousands of years. Every part of this tree is useful. The bark can be used for cloth and rope, the leaves for medicine, and you can eat the fruit of the tree. Then we have Buck Island, which is just off the coast of St. Croix, and it is one of 2 underwater parks in the U.S. National Park System. Buck Island and its surrounding coral reef ecosystem support a large variety of flora and fauna on that island, including the hawksbill turtle and the brown pelican. There are also underwater trails at Buck Island that make it a very popular destination for snorkelers and divers. Now, everyone knows St. Thomas is the shopping mecca of the Caribbean. But did you know that we've been known for our shopping since 1607? Before arriving in present-day Virginia, The Jamestown settlers, who built the first successful English settlement in North America, stopped off in Charlotte, Amalia to stock up on supplies. The Historic Preservation Office in St. Thomas is soon to install a plaque received from the state of Virginia recognizing this historical fact, and the plaque will be on display in Emancipation Garden. St. Thomas is also the birthplace of Camille Pissarro, who was one of the Impressionist painters. He was born in St. Thomas and lived there until he was 12, then returned later in his life to St. Thomas. His birthplace is now open to visitors, and his work is currently on display at Government House in Charlotte, Amalia, as well as right here in New York at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. St. Thomas is also home to the second oldest synagogue in the Western Hemisphere. The St. Thomas Synagogue welcomes people of all faiths and denominations to visit. It was declared a national landmark in 1997, and its menorah dates back to the 11th century. And then lastly, on St. John, there's an underwater national park just off the coast. The underwater trail at Trunk Bay in St. John is considered one of the best places to snorkel in the Caribbean. And it's marked with signs all along the trail so you can see what fish and flora and fauna you're seeing. All levels of swimmers can snorkel there. It's very easy for everyone in the whole family to have fun at Trunk Bay. Just to touch on a few other things that the U.S. Virgin Islands has done. We've always participated in USVI Puerto Rico Friendship Day, as well as the British Virgin Islands and U.S. Virgin Islands Friendship Day. And we've also had various promotions reaching out to our diaspora, offering free night stays, shopping, whatnot in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So not to prolong my presentation, because I know we are short on time, but that's just a little bit of what the U.S. Virgin Islands has to share with all of our ambassadors here in North America and abroad. Thank you.